Dear colleagues, nowadays in Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, the attacks on different types of ships are rapidly increasing. I want to show you one of the latest attacks on an oil tanker Sounion by Yemeni Houthis. Yemeni Houthis have promised to punish those ship owners whose ships secretly entered Israeli ports, which are formerly Palestinian territory. So, even if one ship from the ship owner's fleet entered an Israeli port, automatically all other ships of such a company are under threat of attack and retaliation. Also, in response to US and UK airstrikes on the positions of Houthis, they have more recently targeted ships tied to owners and operators in the UK and US. On the early morning of the 21st of August, fully loaded tanker Sounion, 150,000 tons dead weight, was attacked. One of my friends was there on board and I witnessed of the events. There were 4 armed guards security on board of Sounion tanker. Anyhow, around 6 am, the tanker was attacked and fired from 2 speedboats, but the security armed guards helped to fight off and the attackers ran away. Then at 06:30 am, the first missile rocket hit the starboard side of the engine room compartment. A fire started in engine room and blackout of power on board. The emergency diesel generator started. Chief engineer used the emergency escape breathing device and went down to engine room to start emergency steering gear. The engineers managed to start the emergency power supply and the main engine. The tanker began to move, then reached medium speed. Then the second missile rocket hit it, but at this time with shrapnel head and hit the area of the engine room compartment. Main engine lost power again, began to burn. The boiler was destroyed. Shrapnel cut fresh water tank, pierced the bunker tank, and water with fuel oil began to flood inside the engine room. The shock wave from explosion caused the engine room control system to fail down. It was impossible to start the air compressors for the main engine. The ship was drifting all day, and engineers tried to somehow reanimate main engine, and the rescue fought for the survivability of the ship. The entire engine room was dirty of fuel oil and cut with metal fragments, and also the blast wave knocked out all of the light bulbs. The next day, on the 22nd of August, at about 5 am, a military frigate approached the ship to rescue the crew. And at the very moment, the frigate managed to shoot down an aerial drone which the Houthis were once again used to attack the tanker. The crew abandoned the ship in a lifeboat. Then a speedboat was lowered from the frigate, and after a while they began to evacuate the crew. All crew members of the tanker Sounion were escorted to the port of Djibouti. Thanks God, all the sailors from the Sounion are alive and now they are undergoing rehabilitation ashore. Some of the crew members received medical assistance. Their cuts were stitched up and medical bandages were applied. Later, on the 23rd of August, the Houthis planted 3 explosives on board the ship, then moved to a safe distance and detonated them. Here are the video of the explosions, which were shown on many news channels. Dear colleagues, I also encountered a dangerous situation in the Red Sea offshore the coast of Yemen, but we were lucky and there were no any damage for the ship and none of my crew was hurt. Our VLCC was moored to a monobuoy or SBM at Ash-Shihar terminal near the coast of Yemen. We were chartered by the Ministry of Resources of Yemen to load 2 million of barrels of crude oil. Anyhow, Houthis has the power in Yemen and not the second government which is world recognized. We were moored and started loading by crude oil for 5 hours, and after that a cruise missile hit right into the monobuoy, around 50 meters from us. The blast wave was also very strong. I decided to urgently disconnect the hoses and unmooring in order to get far away from the shore. We had gone 50 miles from the shore and then I received a message on by the Inmarsat sea station, and if we continue loading then the next strike would be directly on the ship itself. Also I received same message by email. After that we found a lot of metal fragments on main deck. My company told me to proceed to one of the Emirates ports to unload 2000 barrels which were already received. Thanks for watching. and I will be happy to read your comments, especially from eyewitnesses such or similar stories. I wish you calm seas and safe work.